Alright guys, I'm all packed up. It's somewhere around 8 o'clock, maybe just before. And plan for the day is about 12 miles. Not exactly sure on the mileage because I'm not exactly sure how far I am down on the Dodson. But should be somewhere around 12 miles. And I'm headed to Blue Creek 1 designated campsite up in the mountains tonight. And I should make a stop by the South Rim on my way over. And if I'm feeling really good, I'll keep on going down the Blue Creek Trail and find a spot down there so I'm a little closer to the car tomorrow. But definitely Blue Creek 1 for the night, and feeling great out here this morning. That sunrise was amazing, and I'm ready to get to it. Cool bird nest. Well, I just made it to the junction with the Juniper Canyon Trail, and there's also a dirt road that comes in here that allows people to cache water right there in that box. And hopefully there is some. In my last video, you might have heard me talk about a guy named Mark that I met yesterday. Said he left a half gallon in there and that I could have it, so that's what I'm planning on use that until I get up to Upper Juniper Springs. Anyway, so the Dodson's 11.5 miles. It took me 20 minutes to get here this morning. So I would say I did a little over 10.5 miles yesterday. And so I'm gonna fill up my water and head on up the Juniper Canyon Trail. So this is the water cache. Those blue ones in the middle, that's the stuff Mark said he left. And then as you can see on some of these, that's from back in January. So that's almost a couple weeks old. I think it's pretty safe to say that they're not going to use it. I'm going to go ahead and use Mark's anyway. And then I'm not sure what these are over here, if they're emergency water that the Park Service puts out, or if that's just somebody didn't label their water, but there's a ton of water there. So if it was an emergency, there would be some. But I'm just going to use what Mark left out here and then head on. Well, Mark from Dripping Springs, thank you very much for the water. He saved me having to carry so much out of Fresno Creek yesterday. And now on up the Juniper Canyon Trail. This is probably going to be the toughest part of this hike, because I think I have somewhere north of 3,000 feet to climb from here. But it should have some amazing views from the top. Well, this is definitely the sunniest it's been yesterday or today. And haven't seen a whole lot of wildlife. Saw 2 coyote and 2 mule deer on my way in on the drive over from Panther Junction. Other than that, just been seeing a ton of birds. Scared a bunch of them up. I guess they're dove. A whole bunch of them will come up and kind of scare me back. Not sure exactly where the trail is going to go up. Didn't study the map good enough. But I do know it's going to be a big climb. Hiking in further up the canyon. It's been all flat all morning so far. Haven't really used my trekking poles at all. I'm probably getting close to 1.5 miles, 2 miles up Juniper Canyon. It's been really grassy, a lot different than the Dodson. And I've been seeing a lot of the bushes and bigger plants are burned. So I'm not sure if this is where the fire was a year or 2 back. But lots of grass, and it's been really nice. Just stopped in a tiny bit of shade. This is really my first good shade that I've come to, and there's not much here. In the middle of the day there'd be no shade right here, but trees are getting bigger coming up Juniper Canyon, and I can see up in the draws of the mountains. There's some fairly big trees up there. So I'm going to stop and take a quick break, and I think I should start climbing pretty soon. Tiny bit of fall color down there in the drainage, and I just started my climb. And right up there in the very right corner of the shot right now, sticking up, I believe that is the boot. It gives the name to Boot Canyon. It's like an upside down cowboy boot. So I just made it to the sign coming up Juniper Canyon Trail that tells the people coming down Juniper Canyon Trail zone camping begins pretty soon. And the reason this is important is because at this sign is where you get off the main trail to go over to Upper Juniper Spring. And that's what I'm doing here. So this is the way that I just came up, and come to the sign here, and then this is the main trail over here. So you're going to turn right at this sign to get to the main trail, and then back this way should be a short trail to get to the springs, and I'm going to go see if I can find them. All right, so you'll know that you're to the area with the springs whenever you get to this built up section. There's an old ruins over there, and if you head farther down that way, there's not any water down there that I know of, but there's some really cool boulders, and I definitely say check that out. Surprised to see a pretty big Texas madrone tree. Everybody knows I love that tree. Anyway, to get to the spring, you'll start here from these old ruins, and you're going to want to go uphill for, not too far, maybe 20 yards. And you'll start seeing a lot of mud and a little bit of flowing water. There's not a lot of water in there, but it is flowing out a little bit. Plenty of water to fill up from. So this is the pool up here. It's not real deep, and I can't get my Sawyer squeeze bag all the way down in there. So if you bring something to dip it out with, might help a little bit. But I am able to get water out of here, and it looks to be pretty clean. There's a little bit of flow that I'm talking about. Not a lot, but it is running. Well, I just got back to the main trail. Filtering that water took a lot longer than it should have. I guess my filter's fairly clogged from yesterday. Had a real slow flow through there. So the real climbing begins here. And it's definitely gotten a lot sunnier. Not near as many clouds as there were yesterday. And I'm glad that I am going up to the mountains and not doing the Dodson today. So anyway, I'm just ready to get up there and make it to the top. Here we go. Well, isn't this nice? With a nice little staircase here. Wow, heck of a view back this direction. I just saw a group of 4, and that's the first people I've seen today. It's 11 o'clock, and they were coming down. They looked like they were coming down. They all had smiles on their faces. So I stopped over and moved aside, let them come on, catch a little break. And then about 2 minutes later, I got to this view. Wow. Things are going pretty well. Well, I just made it over the trail crest, and it's a pretty good climb. I still haven't made it quite to the first designated campsite up here, Juniper Canyon 1. I should be there in just a minute. And then, yeah, my plan is to go filter a liter of water out of some of the pools in Boot Canyon. Hopefully there's some water there. And then I'm going to head to South Rim and get some lunch. It's probably 12:30 or so right now. So took me, let's see, what was that, 4 hours since I left the trailhead. Do 6.5 miles, and I took about an hour's worth of breaks. All in all, pretty good climb. Wasn't quite as hard as what I thought it would be, but it wasn't easy either. Anyway, heading on. Really pretty trail so far. I just met a father and son right at the Juniper Canyon campsite. And they stayed in the basin last night. They said it rained a little bit up there. Didn't sound like they got quite as much rain as what I got down in the desert. But a couple nice guys, and that puts me up to 7 people I've seen so far today. Saw 2 yesterday. I'm expecting to see quite a bit more up here on my way to the South Rim. So this is the very first pool that I came to in Boot Canyon, and it's a lot deeper than any water I've come across. It's also a little bit nasty. I went ahead and filtered a liter out of there, and I'm pretty comfortable with that. And so I got a little more than 3 liters again, and I'm headed toward the South Rim. Man, it's beautiful up here. Trails are a lot more dirt. Got a good breeze. Cool temperatures. And I'm about a mile from the South Rim. So I just made it to the edge of the rim. My first glance down, crazy amazing views. What I'm going to do now is keep walking a little way farther until I get to the actual point where I can see off toward the other direction a little bit, and I'm going to stop and have some lunch. Holy cow. Wow. A little bit hazy out there, but this is still, in my opinion, the best view in Texas. A little bit windy. It's a long way down there. Little baby deer looking straight back at me. The deer up here are definitely very used to humans. Last time I was up here, had one walk right up to me. Some awesome colors in the rock up there. So I just stopped and talked to 3 backpackers, really nice guys from Lubbock, and I've come to find on this hike that every backpacker that I've passed is talkative, super nice, and I guess that's just the stereotype. Every day hiker that I've passed, and I'm not hating on day hikers, but every day hiker I've passed has not wanted to talk at all, and I don't know, just totally different, kind of weird. Anyway, so I decided to keep on down Blue Creek Trail, and I'm not going to stop at my designated site, which I'm at right now, and I'll just stop in and check it out. But I'm going to go ahead and keep hiking down the Blue Creek Trail and just zone camp somewhere tonight. Be a little bit less I got to hike tomorrow. I technically could make it all the way back to my car tonight, which I could do and I may do, but I don't really have plans on where to stay tonight, and that'll be about sunset. So I'm definitely going to hike farther down the Blue Creek Trail and camp somewhere, or make it to my car. Not staying at Blue Creek 1 tonight. I'm just going to stop in and check it out. Here's a shot down the Blue Creek drainage, right out over the edge of the mountain right there in the middle. I can see a car driving on a road. So I've already passed the sign that says zone camping begins. I haven't come to any campsites yet, It's 3:30 and I'm planning on hiking for another couple hours. So I might make it to my car. If I find a spot that looks really nice, definitely stop there. Pretty sweet rock wall. One of the canyon walls on the way down Blue Creek. Really neat. Came across this little pipe of some kind. Not very big, about the size of a conduit, but I didn't see any springs on the map. I'm not real sure what that's for. I passed the sign for zone camping about 45 minutes or an hour ago. Of course, that section all up there is real steep, but that I saw, I didn't come across a single campsite. So I'm pretty far down the Blue Creek Trail, a couple miles at least. And I would say if you're planning on camping in the upper part of the Blue Creek Trail, zone camping, we'll probably come up with a different plan because I didn't see any sites up there. Just got into some really big trees right in here. Man, this is a really nice area. Be a great place to take a break. Look at that. It's pretty wild. You gotta be hardy to live out here. Here's that rock wall from a little lower down. That's kind of the other side of it. Real cool looking little cave up there. And here's a look all the way around Blue Creek drainage. Pretty nice little hike once you make it down the real steep part. Just came across my first decent campsite. Not gonna stay here, but check out those views looking back the other way. That's the way I just came from. Man, that's awesome. Wow. Tent pad ain't that great, but views probably make it worthwhile. Here's another good spot on the lower Blue Creek Trail. Still some pretty good views. You can't see that real big red rock wall from here, but you still got some great views. It's about 4:40, so I'm gonna press my luck and keep going. Hopefully this isn't the last good site. I've definitely made up my mind I'm gonna stay out here tonight for sure. Not a bad site. I guess if I don't find another one, I may hike back up here to this one. So I've been walking down this creek bed for a while. Coming down the trail, you'll get into it several times, but this has definitely been the longest time. If you have any concern about losing the trail, there's been cairns every time it goes into a wash. And if you go longer than, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes without seeing one, you're messing up somewhere. They've been everywhere. Except for on this little section, I just went probably 5 minutes without seeing one. But you're in the wash, and there's not really any place to get out. And you should see everybody else's footprints. So just keep that in mind. Besides here on the lower Blue Creek Trail, there's been cairns in every wash. It really hasn't been that hard to follow. Some really interesting structures up there. This whole probably last 15 minutes there's been all these red rock fins sticking out both sides. Some of them pretty big, and almost make it look like a gate. It's kind of neat. I don't know if they're actually called anything or not, but I feel like it's one of those deals where you call it like Hell's Gates or something like that. Why is it outdoor places are always named something to do with the devil or hell or heaven? That's just the standard go-to, I guess. Anyway, really cool rock formations down in this lower part of the trail. Well, I'm pretty sure I can see the roof from the Homer Wilson Ranch. I just came up to this site here, which is, it's okay. Got some great rock formations to check out. And I guess I'm gonna call it a day here, set up camp. I feel like I have a shelter set up, and now now there's not much left to do. Just lay back, relax, and cook up some supper here in a little bit. Take in some of these views. These, like I was saying earlier, these red rocks, some of these little formations out here are awesome. And knowing that I only got a mile or less in the morning, that makes it so much better. Well guys, that's pretty much it for day 2. Best guess is I did 14 or 15 miles today. It's kind of hard to tell because I'm not exactly sure how far I am down the canyon, but I think I got about a mile to go to the Homer Wilson Ranch. And I'm just sitting out here watching the sunset. Had an awesome day and an awesome time on the Outer Mountain Loop. Definitely recommend this loop. Super awesome, great scenery. I've really enjoyed my time out here. If you have any questions, the first thing I would say to do is to go check BigBendChat.com. Pretty much answers to any question you could possibly have about Big Bend. Second thing is comment down below. If you have any questions, let me know. And I plan on making a video probably next month in March. And I will try to answer any questions you have. And I will talk about things I would do differently. The water situation out here. Maybe talk about a little bit of the gear that I brought and things like that. So in the morning I got about a mile. And I'm trying to get home and get out of here early so I can make it home in time for the Super Bowl. But I just definitely wanted to stay out here one more night, even though I could have made it down to my car by now. Anyways, guys, like I said, thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And from Big Bend, that's it. We'll see you.